Welcome back to Yehoshua's Daf Yomi Shiur, where the Daf continues daily until the complete revelation of Mashiach ben David, Messiah the son of David. Today we will be looking at Chullin 114b, with the words Hasam Zera Ha'av Hu De Ka Gerim. Okay, so we had before, just to back up a bit, the Gemara asks, why do I need a verse? We just had a Kal V'chomer. So Rav Achad Voy Bar Ami said that the verse is necessary because one can say that the case of a horse born of both a stallion and a mare, but which is the brother of a mule, meaning its mother also bore a mule after being impregnated by a donkey, proves this Kal V'chomer inference invalid. As here, the fruit is prohibited with the fruit, but the fruit is permitted with the mother. One may not mate a horse with a mule, but one may mate a horse with its mother. Okay? The Gemara rejects this. There, it is the seed of the father that affects the prohibition of mating the mule with the daughter horse. The two may not be paired for reasons unrelated to their status as offspring of one mother. This ruling therefore proves nothing about the hypothesis that if two fruit cannot be paired, one can learn by a Kal V'chomer inference that the fruit cannot be paired with the mother. Deha pered ben Susia achi perda yochiach shemutar pri im pri v'asu pri im ha'em. And this explanation must be true, as the case of a mule born of a donkey and a mare, and which is the brother of a female mule, proves. As here, one fruit is permitted with the other fruit, meaning one may mate the male and female mules since they are of the same species, and yet the fruit is prohibited to be mated with the mother, meaning the mare. This case illustrates that the prohibition of crossbreeding is contingent on paternity and does not rest solely on the relation between the mother and the fruit. Elo mar berei de ravina mishum diika lemema eved ben shivcha achi mishuchreres yochiach she'asur pri impri umutar pri im ha'em. Rather, Mar, son of Ravina, said the a fortiori inference is invalid because one can say that the case of a male Canaanite slave born of a female slave and who is the brother of a female freed slave proves it invalid. As here, the fruit is prohibited with the fruit. The slave may not engage in sexual intercourse with its freed sister, and yet the fruit is permitted with his slave mother. Hasam get shichror hu dikal gerim deha eved ben mishucheres tachishiv chayochiach shemuta priim pri yaso priim haem. The Gemara rejects this as well. It is the bill of manumission that affects the prohibition. The slave is prohibited to his sister only because she has been freed, not because they are both fruit of one mother. As the case of a male slave, son of a female freed slave, and the brother of a female slave proves. As here, the fruit is permitted with the fruit, meaning he is permitted to his sister since they are both slaves, and yet the fruit is prohibited with his released mother as she is now considered a full-fledged Jew. Clearly, the prohibition is entirely contingent on the emancipation of one of the slaves, irrespective of their relationship. Ela amar Rav Idi bar Avin, mishum dikalememal klei zeroim yochichu, she'asor priim prim umatar priim ha'em, klum ne'esar priim pri, ela al yedei ha'em, l'hochidei usi'orei b'chada, velo mitasru. Rather, Rav Idi Ravin said, the a fortiori inference is invalid because one can say that the case of diverse kinds of seeds proves it invalid, as it is prohibited to sow fruit of one species with fruit of another species, and yet it is permitted to sow all types of fruit with the mother, meaning the ground from which all fruit grows. The Gemara rejects this as well. Isn't fruit of one species with fruit of another species prohibited only by means of the mother, meaning the ground? The prohibition of sowing diverse seeds applies only when they are both sown in the ground, as wheat and barley can be placed in a single jug, and they are not prohibited. Ela amar Rav Ashi mishum diklamema ma leprim pri sheken shnei gufim tomar pri bepri im haem sheken guf echad mishum hachi itzrich kra. Rather, Rav Ashi said the a fortiori inference is invalid because one can say what is unique about fruit with fruit, for example, the kid and its mother's milk, which are prohibited for cooking together. They are unique in that they are two separate bodies that were never unified. Must you say the same prohibition of pairing applies to the fruit with the mother, meaning the mother's meat and its milk, which were once one body? Due to this reason, the extra verse stating in its mother's milk was necessary to include the meat and milk of the same animal in the prohibition. Amar Rav Ashi, minayin lebasa b'chalav she'asur b'achila shenemar lo ta'chal kol to'eva kol she'ta'avti lach harehu b'val to'chal. Rav Ashi said, from where is it derived that meat cooked in milk is prohibited for consumption, even though the verse explicitly prohibits only cooking? It is derived from a verse as it is stated elsewhere, you shall not eat any abominable thing, Deuteronomy 14 verse 3. This verse teaches that with regard to any practice that I have made abominable, meaning forbidden to you, the product is prohibited for consumption. עד שיפרוט לך הכתוב כדרך שפרט לך בנבל לגר בנשיאים ולגויים במחירה. And I have derived only that meat cooked in milk is prohibited with regard to consumption. From where do I derive that it is also prohibited with regard to benefit? It is derived in accordance with the statement of Rabbi Abahu, as Rabbi Abahu says that Rabbi Elazar says, wherever it is stated he shall not eat, or you in the singular shall not eat, or you in the plural shall not eat, both a prohibition against eating and a prohibition against deriving benefit are indicated. This is so unless the verse specifies for you that one may derive benefit in the manner that it specified for you with regard to an animal carcass, from which the verse explicitly permits one to derive benefit, as it states, you may sell it to a foreigner, Deuteronomy 14:21. Accordingly, one may provide such meat to a Gentile resident alien in Eretz Yisrael by giving it to him as a gift, and to any other Gentile by sale. Titanya lo yitzarech l'kol level legel asher b'sharecho tituach lo mechol nachri ein li el legel b'nesina v'legoy v'chiyel v'ger v'chiyel v'nayin tamad lo legel nesina machol. As is taught in Bright, the verse states, you shall not eat of any unslaughtered animal carcass. You may give it to the resident alien who is within your gates, that he may eat of it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a sacred people to the Lord your God. From this verse I have derived only that it is permitted to provide such meat to a resident alien through giving, and to a Gentile through selling. From where is it derived that it is permitted to transfer an unslaughtered animal to a resident alien through selling it as well? The verse states, you may give it to the stranger, or you may sell it, indicating that one has the option to do either of these. The Braita continues from where it's derived that is permitted to a Gentile through giving as well. The verse states, you may give it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. Consequently, one finds that he may transfer an animal carcass to both a resident alien and a Gentile, both through selling or through giving. This is the statement of Rabbi Meir. Yehuda says these matters are to be understood as they are written. One may transfer an unslaughtered animal carcass to a resident alien only through giving, and to a Gentile only through selling. My time de Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir Oy lamali. The Gemara asks, what is the reason for the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda? The Gemara responds, Rabbi Yehuda holds that if it enters your mind to understand the verse in accordance with that which Rabbi Meir says, then let the merciful one write, you shall not eat of any animal carcass. You may give it to the resident alien who is within your gates, that he may eat it, and also you may sell it to a foreigner. Why do I need the word or between these two options? Learn from it that it comes to teach that the matters are to be understood as they are written to a resident alien through giving alone, and to any other Gentile through selling. זה אתה מצווה להחיותו, וזה אתה מצווה להחיותו. The Gemara asks, and how does Rabbi Meir explain the wording of the verse? The Gemara answers, Rabbi Meir could say to you that this word or teaches one to prioritize to giving to a resident alien over selling to a Gentile. Rabbi Yehuda holds that the priority of giving to a resident alien over selling to a Gentile does not require a verse, as it is based on logical reasoning. You are commanded by the Torah to sustain this resident alien, but you are not commanded to sustain that Gentile. Simin Shabbos Chayresh V'Chilis Roim Oisav Yespeloi V'Shluchaken. The Gemara provides a mnemonic device for the topics that will be discussed: Shabbat, plows, different kinds of seeds, a mother and its offspring, and sending away of the mother bird from the nest. Elamiata, Rav Ashi stated above, that the product of any practice described in the Torah is as abominable as prohibited for consumption. The Gemara asks, if that is so,